welcome back to Dynamic Duo Podcast. I'm Joy.
And I'm Nikki, and today we're here at Joe Louis Southern Kitchen. Come on, let's go inside. I'm Nikki here. We are here with the owner of Johnny Cannon, who is the owner of Joe Louis Southern Kitchen, downtown Detroit, right in the heart of Detroit. So we're gonna just go over some stuff with him and kind of just get into the meat of this restaurant and entrepreneurship.
So we've heard a lot of good things about the restaurant here. There's a must-see there. Everybody's saying they love the food, they love the atmosphere. So my first question is, what inspired you to open a restaurant?
Wow. Opportunity, kind of just poke his head through the door. And me being a, how can I say, a creative, no fear type of individual. My father had a beauty salon at where my first restaurant was, on Boulevard. And he was there for 11 years, decided to close, but still had a lease. So the opportunity was there, and so the no fear made me just think about what's first steps. And I had a chef that worked at Majestic Cafe and Friends, and I was able to get him to come join me to at least open it up, create the menu. And then I ultimately went to restaurant school about 6 months, restaurant management class at OCC about 6 months after I opened. And it kind of just expanded my eyes, and from there on, just been in restaurant college, learning a lot of things on what not to do, and ultimately a lot of good things on what to do.
Right. Okay. So I'm looking at the name of the restaurant. That's what got me, because I'm just like, all right, this could have been Johnny's Southern Cafe or Johnny's Kitchen or whatever.
Yeah.
So what inspired the name of this restaurant?
Wow, that's easy. I met Joe Louis Jr., his son, Joe Louis' son, 2018. In the most oddest way we met, and long story short, he came to Detroit because he was looking to do a business here in his dad's name, and really just looking to rebrand. As known as his dad is, as loved and beloved as he is as an icon, it was about just trying to develop a new brand around the name, and more importantly, try to get the culture, the new culture, to understand the history of those that came before him. So he was real passionate about beginning with a restaurant, and he understood his dad loved family. And he always said that he envisioned the restaurant because the restaurant is where we come together for a multitude of things, celebrate, to cry, for business meetings, And so he was right, and more importantly, he sought out the opportunity here in Detroit. We had a good conversation, and he asked would I partner with him in building his dad's brand. And so I had a restaurant that had for 16 years on the Boulevard. New Center Eatery, and I built, as a communally loved restaurant. And I was known for chicken and waffles. And so I got a new location, and he asked me what I considered changing the name and start building with that location. And I said, yeah, I think it made a lot of sense. Yeah. And so for one, of course, we had built a presence in the community in the New Center area. Yeah. But more importantly, I knew that the visibility of being on Woodward versus the Boulevard would bring more attention. But then it just really get illuminated when you put Joe Louis up there. So it was layers of reasons why it made sense. And it's been a hit from day one.
You kind of answered my next question, which is why downtown Detroit? Why Detroit?
Once again, it kind of, the opportunity just kind of tripped in my lap with the beauty salon. And so being in the New Center area. And so I had built such a presence. And they respected that because in 2003 when I opened, most of the businesses here were closing. And so it was probably 8-9 years where it was only maybe 2 or 3 of us open in this whole block radius. But now there's 25 businesses open. So safety was an issue, a concern. So of course I had to have security at night. Things I don't have to do now because there's more presence in the community now. But it was just, and I built a name in the New Center area, so it only made sense to stay here close by. I'm only like 15, 20 steps away from the previous location. So that's kind of where it's at. But we're looking to go downtown, and we're looking to go east, we're looking to go west. We're looking to go out of the state, we're looking to franchise it.
So my next question was, how did you decide the concept for the restaurant? Which you kind of touched a little bit on it, but like why soul food? You got, Italian, you got all types of stuff, so like why soul food?
Well, let me say this though. It's not soul food, it's Southern cooking. Right?
You're right.
Soul food typically makes people think a demographic. you know, and Southern cooking is raw.
And
You know?
you know what? I'll fix myself with that. Correct myself with that after this up. Because I did look at the menu and I was just like,
This isn't
I was like, this look like somebody from the South. This
Yes,
look like
yes, yes,
Alabama, somebody in the
Yes.
kitchen, Georgia, something like
I
that.
created the whole menu, and I mean, with that, it was just about Southern favorites.
Yeah.
You know, thinking of Southern dishes. Of course, shrimp and grits always.
Gravy,
something.
shrimp and grits,
You
yeah, all
know,
that.
so
yeah.
it's more the biscuits and gravy, things like that. Really not, even if you said soul food, it's not really no soul food
It's
on the
really
menu.
not, yeah.
So it's just really Southern cooking. That's why it's a Southern kitchen. And so the menu really was more of creating like a brunch style, which is your breakfast, lunch, dinner concept,
Yeah.
and blending it all together. And I think we've done a great job with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next up, I don't know how you are into television, but what would be one of your favorite cooking shows?
You know, I really like Diners and Drives.
That's my favorite.
I mean,
all the time.
Guy Fieri. I think he
did
sparked
some
everybody
good
up.
man.
Yeah,
He make me hungry.
Yeah, and I think it was the energy he put behind it, the animation
does.
behind it, you
It's
know.
dope.
So that show
I
really
wasn't
was
expecting
cool.
you to say that one. I love it. That was a good one.
Yeah. I like that.
So since we're touching on that, when you said the dine and drive, so like I'm gonna give you a scenario real quick. So a famous chef or celebrity hits you up and wants to go work with you on wants to partner with you for a for like a charity event or feeding the homeless. Who would that be? Who is somebody that you would like to work side by side with on giving back? You know.
A Detroiter or anybody in the
It could be a celebrity, it could be a Detroiter, yeah.
Oh no, I was saying when you said celebrity, I know you're speaking of a Detroit.
Oh no,
You know,
whoever, because you know we have a lot here, so yeah.
You know, good question. If I had to say anyone, wow. Wow, you kind of stumped me on that one. I would probably say, like you say, to go and do a cooking. Give me the synopsis again. The question.
This is just a celebrity
Correct.
chef or just a very well known chef that hit you up and said like, hey,
Okay,
we
chef.
want to put on a charity event and do some giving back.
Who would that celebrity chef be?
That's what we say.
Who's the celebrity chef
Somebody
be?
that you can see yourself like partnering side by side.
Wow. I guess a lot of why I'm stumbling is because I'm not a chef. So really, I don't have a lot of chefs I can pull out. Emerald Lagasse? I don't know. You know, really. But you know who I like? That's what. Hold on, you said?
What's his name? G Garvin?
G. Garvin, yeah. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I like it.
He's dope.
You know,
He's
he
dope.
brings. I like his energy and ultimately his food looks good. That's the name I was going to say.
You said you're not a chef. I'm sorry, I'm choking over here.
Yeah.
Said not a chef. Okay, so then I know you can cook though.
No.
Not at all.
No.
You come from
I can fry some
family
chicken.
of
I can fry some
entrepreneurs
French fries.
and really good cooks.
I can make some great hot dogs.
Oh my
But
god.
what I am good at is creating menus, and I got two great chefs that I know how to bring them together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, just like she said, you come from a family of entrepreneurs and stuff, and I know that you got you working with family and stuff like that. And a lot of people, you know, kind of shun that, like, I never work with family. I can't stand working with family. This is not or whatever. So, how is that with you? How is the dynamic of working with family for you?
Well, you got to be very selective. That's number one. You know, and so that's what I've done the last 20 years of working with the 5 family members. It's been very selective. I got 500, but I only work with 5. And so I mean, with that, you know, people who I know got my back. You know, that's the biggest thing. And those that have been with me have been at multiple establishments. And those are the individuals know that I got their back. And so really, that's really what it's been. You know, when I call and I need it, and vice versa, they call me, I need them. So that's kind of where.
And that's what you need. That's what you need with family. That's what I think people shun away from it is because not being dependable or not showing up on time. Oh, that's my cousin. I'll get there when I can, and it's like, no.
And that's the problem.
It's still
And
a
so-
professional setting. We still got to feed people. We still got people
Most
waiting.
don't know how to separate business from personal.
Absolutely.
And so your staff, that's the worst thing you don't want is for your family members to bring on that personal into your business because then your staff think they can get away with things because they're family.
His brother come in when he won't. Yeah. So,
No, never had that problem.
So going back into the menu in the restaurant here, what is one of your best sellers?
Wow, shrimp and grits, our smothered Cajun fried turkey legs, and I would say our French toast, our banana Foster's French toast.
Okay, I'm
It's
just trying to say.
phenomenal. But I also got some key lime pie pancakes that everybody who's had them
Okay.
blows them away. Yeah.
Stuffed turkey legs.
Oh yes, definitely.
Never
yes.
had that.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to try that one today.
Yeah, it's a menu that we spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
Every single dish, honestly, every single dish, we made sure it was delicious. And that's what, I like Cheesecake Factory and
Yeah.
Grand Lux Cafe. And one thing about they got the big menu, but they make sure every single thing on the menu, if you choose to get it, if it's something that you like, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so still we're gonna touch on black business, of course, because we are big on supporting black business and stuff. We even got Black Brand on today.
That's it. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, what's some of your favorite black-owned restaurants to dine in?
Wow. Besides my own.
But yeah, besides
Okay,
yours.
so I'm here every day.
No, but shout it right now, because everybody don't know. So you have
I'm being honest. I love.
give them
I-
information
I
about
love
all the
breakfast.
restaurants you
I
had.
love breakfast from Joe Louis Southern Kitchen.
Yeah.
I love good old Southern cooking dinner from Lily Mae's Southern Buffet
There we go.
in Southfield. But also, I definitely go to La Culture.
Okay.
I go to Sloppy Chops and Sloppy Crabs.
I still never ate
So I
that
didn't
before.
know Sloppy Chops was black-owned, so that's good. I've been there
Oh,
before.
most
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah,
That's
Sloppy
dope.
Chops and Sloppy Crabs. Same
Okay.
people,
Awesome.
same team. Go there. I love my Jamaican food, so I go to Jamaican Pot. 8 Mile a lot. And ultimately, I wish that we could do better, and I believe it's being done to highlight the black businesses outside the restaurant.
Yes.
Because it can be more of an easier find than just trying to
Exactly.
find a cleaners or find a,
Yeah.
and I know the importance of driving to go there.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get off kilt, but it's like, can I say this? I talked to a pastor the other day, and I had a conversation with Pastor Kenlock, and recently it was a different pastor though, but we had the same conversation. Is as a people, in order for us to start understanding how to patronize black businesses, I feel like there's a layer of things that we got to do. And so I asked him, like I asked Kenlock, and I asked Bishop Edgar Van from Second Ebenezer, the same question. Like, is there any way possible that all of the pastors could meet, create one agenda that every Sunday they would discuss? It don't have to be long, but very to the point, and it's really brainstorming and getting your congregations on how to buy black. Because there's a way that you got to buy black. Now, you can't go to these black businesses, have one bad experience, and then slam them.
And it's
Exactly.
exactly.
You're
That's number
absolutely
one.
right.
You can't do that, because that's what we do.
Yeah, we do.
You go and
we
you
do.
have one bad experience,
Yeah.
and you slam
Yeah,
them.
and then we do it. We'll go back
And you
we'll
go right
give-
to social
we'll
media, and
give- yeah.
so as many people can see this bad experience,
Yeah.
and we're good at that.
Yeah.
But then also there's the other side. I told you yes. I said, we have, as black business owners, have to take responsibility for making sure that we have safe, clean, good service, and if it's food, good food. If it's good cleaners, great pressing. If it's good work. And we have to be receptive to hear comments.
Exactly.
Because it's always something you can look at and make tweaks within your system, right? So for me, it's layers, but the church is important because that's how we built our communities back in the day. It was about the churches being the pillar,
Absolutely.
and where we go for finance, where we go for community. So that's the part we lost.
Yeah.
And things, unfortunately, segregation went away. We went out in the world. We lost the base of how important it is to spend our money
Yeah.
amongst each other. And we got to be retrained. We got to be retrained. That's why I said the
I
church
totally
has got a
agree.
congregation every Sunday. Well, who better to have an agenda to press that?
Yeah.
So that when the preacher says it's every Sunday, now you're going to be more apt to wake up on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Let me find that black cleaner.
And it's
let
crazy.
me
That
go
was
there.
yesterday's sermon
Wow.
at church. we were discussing how we had to go back to our roots.
Yeah.
So grandma used to make sure all the kids went to church.
Yeah.
We learned the word.
That's
We were
right.
in there.
That's right.
We supported one another.
That's
we
right.
stayed together as a family. Parents making the kids go to
That's
church.
right.
Yeah.
Not allowing them the choice
Exactly.
to be able to do things, but saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. Because that way they have God with them as
Yep.
they're going out into
Yep.
college
Mhm.
and
Yep.
entrepreneurship and everything. So yeah,
1000%.
that's good. That's definitely a great way.
Yep.
And then we even found out something from our church that we needed to touch on and help out with because the pastor
Yeah.
spoke about it and let us know. So
Absolutely.
that is deep and that's
So
definitely
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
we
our-
love their word. We believe in
Yeah,
their
we
word.
believe-
So
exactly.
if he said it every Sunday, you
And
know
it's
we're going to
powerful.
get habit.
Yeah, it
It
is.
become more of a habit of looking for that.
And
Exactly.
That
sometimes
black
you don't
forest.
know. Sometimes you don't know. Like just like you said, you partner with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't know that you can actually help fund or help pour into a black business when you know what they're doing. So like a lot of times people ask for offerings and stuff, whatever. Okay, we're gonna do a love offering. We're gonna do a speaker offering, whatever. Well, this particular offering that we were talking about in my church yesterday was about us pouring back into because they bought stuff in that area,
Exactly.
in that off 7 Mile. I go to Solomon's Temple, so
Exactly.
so Solomon's Temple Church, whatever. So the mall area, we gotta renovate that and make that look good again. And, you know, it kind of fell apart and stuff like that. So like now it's like, okay, let's pour into it or whatever. We would have never known. It's just been like an offering. But now that we know that this is a business and we got a certain amount of money to need. This ain't no put no $10 in the plate. This ain't no put no $20 in the plate. This is like, okay, we need some hundreds towards this, you know,
Exactly, yeah.
some or 1,000 if you got it, you know,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, absolutely.
So moving along to another one of the restaurants that you are a part of. How did the collaboration come with Lily Mays in South End?
Yeah, well, Lily Mays, you know, once the previous location was there and it was about thinking of, well, COVID kind of gave an awakening call for a lot.
Yeah.
So it was more of a, when I thought about the new concept was a lot less staff needed with buffet. And so, you know, buffet had been shown to be successful a lot of times with all you can eat. But that's what we typically think when you say buffet. What's all you can eat? No. Buffet is a style of service.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, with the new concept, it was buffet, and it was like, okay, just keep the payroll low. You know, try to bring the bodies in. The biggest part was we could bring in parties, groups, and like on a Friday night, it used to be hard to have a party of 20, party of 10, party of 25 because the kitchen gets slammed.
Yeah,
You know, whereas now with a buffet, it's all bulk cooking. And so you can stagger the parties, you can invite everybody in and really bring and make it a party place. And that's kind of what it's been coming since we've opened 90 days ago. But my little brother, Deshaun Sims, was retired from basketball. And his partner, Manny Harris, is still playing basketball. And then I have another partner, Cortez. These have been like my young brothers since they were in high school. Of course, now they're at a point in place in life, they were looking to do something different. They had a lot of trust and faith in me. They've been watching me the last 20 years in business. And so I talked to them, all of a sudden, let's come together. And it's become our first business. More importantly, they got influence.
Yeah,
You know, they've all been local basketball stars. They went to U of M, basketball stars, played professionally. And so that's what we pretty much came together, that collective, and believing in the brand, good Southern cooking and family style, and kind of pushing that agenda. So that's kind of how it all came about, the concept and the partnership.
Dope, that's dope. So with that being said, would you say, so I know you got these two restaurants, the Lily Mays, and then this one. Do you plan on expanding outside of Michigan?
I'm just getting started. Haven't done nothing yet. I mean, I've been practicing. I've been in the gym. That's what
Actually,
I've been doing.
you have. I feel like you're definitely leaving a legacy, you know, for your family here. It's something that, you know, you can pass down to your sons and this and that, whatever, and then y'all can, you know, have different, you know, locations and all that. So yeah. So yeah.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've learned a lot. That's what it's been on this journey. It's been a lot of learning, you know. But more importantly for this brand, everything I do, I try to make sure I can scale it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like nothing that's a one-off. And so the issues I've had is what a lot of us have is lack of knowledge. You know, so you get out here, you try. Knowledge help you, you know, stumble you or hurt. How can I say? Creates hurdles to learn how to scale. So the last 7, 8, 9 years, I've really been studying, reading, and doing a lot of searching and
A
starting to
lot of people
mentor.
don't dive into what they're trying to do.
Yeah, you have to. You know what I mean? It's a lot. I mean, social media gives you access to so many mentors that you don't even physically know.
Yeah.
But, you know, Magic Johnson's my mentor. You know what I mean? And so I watch and study and listen, and I apply. And that's really how I changed one concept to another, listening to a Magic Johnson interview. talking about the real estate crash, and he bought some properties to sell in the real estate crash, and he pivoted and made it a leasing model, and it was still successful.
There you go.
And so when COVID hit, I literally thought of that interview, and I said, I got to pivot. And it came up with a buffet, a lot less staff, payroll a lot less, and we can bring in a lot of people. So I mean, that's kind of where I think it all comes from. But it's all about scale.
Magic Johnson and these basketball partnerships, you need to get into the
Oh, it's
get into
coming.
that industry.
Oh, it's coming.
That's dope. So
No
what's your
fear, no
favorite-
fear.
Absolutely. With God, anything is possible.
No fear.
So, what is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur? What is the favorite part?
Wake up when you want to.
Okay.
You want to call off tomorrow, you can call off.
Look at our videographer like that.
That's the number one. There is no cap on how much money you can make, right?
Yeah.
It's up to you to make what you want to design.
Right.
And I mean, I think those are the strongest things, and just your creativity. And ultimately, you know, it's not about my decision being the only decision, because I have learned that, you know, that's not always the best thing. So having a meritocracy, like a meritocracy where everybody can give their opinion, and you ultimately want the best opinion. So that's what I've learned. And so entrepreneurship is being able to build a team, you know, being that captain, you know, that you're only as smart as the people you surround yourself with, you know, and that's the good part of it.
And those feedbacks, I think with us getting better, having the those feedback cards or whatever, like, or those emails when you go somewhere, hey, how did you enjoy this restaurant or whatever? Is there anything that you've seen that could have been changed or whatever?
Definitely.
You know, some people might say something crazy or something stupid, whatever, but some stuff you can actually take it, you know,
Exactly.
you can actually take it in. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's dope. I'm looking around. I know y'all can't see it all, but I'm looking around at the pictures of Joe Louis and the boxing gloves and all this stuff. I think this is really dope.
Yeah. I mean, the actual theme of this restaurant, you know, Joe Louis Jr., you know, and I give him all the credit in the world. We all get gifts. His gift is he sees things creatively really fast. And I think since I've been really studying his dad the last 4 or 5 years now, that was part of their gift, because he was like a serial entrepreneur. You know, most people don't know his history. So that's the good part about partnering with him, because his dad's story really hasn't been told in its totality. All you know is his boxing greatness and what that accomplished, which is phenomenal. But it's more of the man he was with the entrepreneurship that I was. And so we're starting with the Joe Louis Foundation, which is going to be based on entrepreneurship. Right now it's getting formed. And we're going to deal with the youth. It's like 5th graders, 10 years old is where we're starting. And we're going through high schools, because that's when they're fun. You know, so we want to capture them young and give them something to aspire to be. And I always tell my story, and I know the importance of it, is when I was about 8 or 9, my mom's best friend, her cousin was an engineer at Ford. He had a big Mercedes. And I remember him coming by the house, I remember it. And he pulled up in that big old Mercedes, and when he left, I'm like, what did he do?
Right.
And she told me he's an electrical engineer. And I tell everybody, if you'd asked me from 8 years old to probably 16, 17, what I was going to be, I was an electrical engineer. But that's the power of seeing somebody that you can relate to, and something like that, materialistic wise, that at least gives you that vision to want to be something. So that's the focus of the Joe Louis Foundation.
Yeah.
But with that, with the restaurant, Joe Louis Jr.'s vision was, he didn't want it to be about boxing.
Yeah.
I have a partner here named Keith that designs set plays all over the country. And so that's why you see what you see. He walked in, he saw this the first day, and literally everything he discussed and we had discussed, me and Joe, Keith was able to bring it to life. And he was adamant about the boxing ring in the atrium here. Like, we gotta give him some boxing somewhere. So you walk in and you see the boxing, you know what I mean? And that's like Madison Square Garden with the lights and the rings. And then when you come in, now you're getting like you're at home. And that's the whole concept with the barbecue grill. You're sitting in grandma's front yard. And then you want to make it a museum effect with the photos.
Definitely
and
like museum effect.
you know, and just giving you things that Joe had a horse ranch in Utica, Michigan. You know, horse farm, where you can go as a restaurant at a horse farm. And this was in like 50s. You know, Joe Louis had Brown Bomber Chicken Shack in like 1938 in Detroit on Verna. Joe Louis had Joe Louis Punch. He had Joe Louis Hair Pomade. Joe Louis had Joe Louis Milk Company in the Midwest, and was large in Chicago. Joe Louis had a bowling alley where Ford Field sits at, called Paradise Bowling. There was a group of guys that owned it back then in Paradise Alley. You know, so and he had a whiskey, which we're bringing back now. We had Joe Louis whiskey. And so we bring out Joe Louis bourbon. So It's quite a few things, you know? Yeah, we're trying to be all Joe Louis. There's a lot coming up, yeah.
That's big. That's big. Well, I'm gonna, I guess, close it out with. I actually can't even close it out with that. I was gonna say, like, what is it that you would like to be remembered as or known as? But you got so much going on. And you said you're just getting started.
You know, I would love to be, I guess, remembered as, though, with that being asked, though. I would, you know, for one, somebody that cared. Somebody that cared about his people. More importantly, about my generation to come after me and setting that foundation. I just told somebody last night, I said, how powerful is it that video and the cloud base can preserve something that my great-great-grandchildren.
Yes.
So I told them last night, I said, I'm going to video myself talking to my great-great-great-grandchildren and why I'm doing what I'm doing today and how and what the game plan has to be for them to follow this thing. Because if somebody would have left that for me alone with assets and money and lawyers and accountants, where would I be today with my creativity? So we all got a creativity, but it's about how we set the next generation up. So I've made all the mistakes I need to make to learn, rather. And so now it's about setting the road and creating a path. Not just for my children. It's all about all the children.
Absolutely.
So I always have to throw something in about love or relationships. So I'm going to throw in a quick little scenario really quick. We got a beautiful young lady coming over. I don't know her current status, but she's coming over to the house. What's playing in the background? What is your dish?
Janet Jackson, Funny How Time Flies.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
And what's that signature dish that she's going to be enjoying?
oh my Lord, when the chef comes by and cook it, I'm a seafood lover, hoping she is. So I love some great lobster tails, you know, you mix it with a little bit of shrimp. You know, give her an option, you know, salmon, so it's her choice. I'm a vegetable guy, so I mean, I need some signature bacon, some good vegetables, and a really good rice pilaf with some fresh, nice croissants with the honey butter, just simple. And what we drinking on? You know, I'm a guy, hey, whatever you want, you can have. So I mean, ultimately, you know, me personally, I like a good absolute citron with some lemonade, you know, or some Don Julio with lemonade, and you know, she might like a lemon drop, whatever she wants. You know? That's what we do.
Awesome. It's been great. We thank you for having us here at the restaurant, especially on a busy day. It's Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, it is Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, we are definitely here. So thank you again.
Definitely.
How can they follow you? Do you have any social medias, any emails, anything you want to give any information?
I am really finna get better at that. I swear I am. 2023 is important for me. You know, my Facebook is Johnny Cannon.
Okay.
You know, my LinkedIn is Johnny Cannon. But I'm finna working on building my brand, so I have to come out and showcase myself.
So we're at Joe Louis Southern Kitchen. It's on Woodward, right by another black-owned. What is that? First Independence Bank. Yep. So black-owned bank here, but 6549 Woodward. So I gotta come down here and get some of this good food.
Got to.
I'm about to get some right now.
Got to.
Thanks for watching.